Dog Day Afternoon is the first episode of So Little Time, and I was looking forward to this for two reasons. The first is that now that I've finished watching and reviewing all of Two of a Kind, I'm alternating between Mary-Kate and Ashley in action and So Little Time. And while I know I did watch some of this growing up, it definitely wasn't anywhere near as frequently as I watched Two of a Kind, so I don't have that many strong memories of this. The other reason I was interested in this is because the narrative seemed very similar to the first So Little Time book, How to Train a Boy. And it turns out that it is very, very similar. So I was keen to see if visually it would look like what was in my head. And I'm pleased to say it kind of did. Not completely, but much to the book's credit, a lot of what I was reading was something that I could visualize like this. And I rather enjoyed that. As an episode, honestly, it's not great. The concept is fine. We have a nice message about how not to treat somebody, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but the pacing is very, very slow. Is it a good introduction to the characters? I'd say so. If you're not familiar with Chloe and Riley, you don't know anything about them, I'd say it's a pretty decent introduction. So there will be some spoilers as I talk about what happens in this episode. And the main focus is the fact that Chloe decides she gets a dog. She gets a puppy dog, very cute. And she decides to get this book on how to train dogs, which is a very sensible idea. And she begins to wonder if she can use the book to train the boy who lives next door to her father. Her father lives on the beach. It's a really nice setting. I really enjoyed kind of the design of that location. And the main house as well is very nice. It's very large. There's a lot of open space in the house they live at with their mother because their parents are separated. Very, very open space. Quite nice decor. But definitely we have these kind of different environments, and she uses this book to train the boy who lives next door to her father because she has a crush on him. And needless to say, that's not a great message, using a training book for a dog on a human. But actually, we do get a good message at the end of the episode. And that is, of course, the fact that you shouldn't really do that. That's not great. You shouldn't treat somebody like a dog. And we get a little bit of comedy out of this narrative, but it's maybe not the most funny. It is more awkward than it is funny. But nevertheless, we do ultimately get a nice message about how to treat people, or I guess how not to treat people, and also the importance of training dogs for obedience. So that's not too bad. We have a subplot involving a boy he's called Larry, and I just want to point out that I had to stop recording and delete the last kind of minute or so of what I was saying because I realised I referred to Riley as Mary-Kate. This is definitely something that I'm going to get used to over time. So if I do slip up and refer to the characters as Mary-Kate or Ashley, I apologise. I also apologise if I get the names the wrong way round. And this is because one of my all-time favourite films, the very first DVD I ever owned, was Winning London. So needless to say, I've seen it a lot. And in that, the character names are the other way on. Ashley is Riley, Mary-Kate is Chloe. So I'm really used to associating those names with those actors. So again, I apologise if, as I go through these episodes, I call them the wrong names at any point. I'm trying really hard to not do that. If I catch myself, I will rectify it, but if I don't, I apologise. But Larry seems like an interesting character. He doesn't look exactly like what I imagined he did when I was reading the book. Not that there's anything wrong with that, that's just a point of observation. But I think the actor's great, played by Jesse Head. I think he did a really great job with the character. And I do hope that he features more because he seems really, really interesting. Definitely some things for me to get used to. I have read a couple of books, but I still have quite a lot more to go. I will continue with them once I've finished Two of a Kind books. This first episode wasn't perfect. The pacing wasn't great. And if I had to choose the book or the episode, I would choose the book. I guess probably because there's more substance, because obviously there's more time in the narrative in the book, whereas this is condensed into 20-something minutes and the book goes into a lot more detail. But at the same time, I do feel like the pacing here just wasn't necessarily that great. But we do have some really nice set designs. The cast seem really brilliant. So I'm quite happy. I'm looking forward to watching more. And Dog Day Afternoon, although not perfect, definitely isn't too bad.